Hello everyone, welcome to this episode 101 of Bicycle Touring Talk. My name is George Schlackegg, and in this series I tell you about my bicycle tours. More specifically, in the summer of 2017 I was going coast to coast across Canada. My wife Barbara, who also loves going on tour with me, had joined me for a 10-day detour to visit family and explore the Niagara Peninsula. On Saturday, July 29th, we were at the tail end of this little side trip. Barbara had a return flight to Edmonton coming up in a couple of days. We'd spend Sunday and Monday together in Toronto, and that was it. But on this Saturday evening, we were in the west end of Mississauga after a long day of cycling. The hotel we had planned to stay at was fully booked, and we had problems connecting to the internet in order to find alternatives. Barbara had tried to use her phone data to find a room, but all options within our reach were well over $250 a night or completely booked out. Mississauga is not exactly known for great camping facilities neither. But there's a Tim Hortons on pretty much every major corner, so we picked one and went for coffee. This place was open 24 hours every day, so we could just sit there and eat donuts all night. But the place also had functioning Wi-Fi, so there was actually hope for us. We tried finding a room again, but there really weren't any in this area, unless we wanted to spend $600 and travel 35 kilometers. Nope, I'm not even exaggerating. But staring at the Google map of the area gave me some ideas. There were some vacant spots on this map. How about stealth camping somewhere near this church, close to the freeway? It was almost midnight when I rode the bike to an area that looked suitable for stealth camping. First, just to scope it out. When I returned to Tim Hortons, I presented Barbara with two options. We could spend the night at the 24-hour coffee shop, or camp in a place that was well hidden but not exactly quiet. We decided to camp. We ended up right behind the Walmart Supercenter in Meadowvale. Despite the noise of the 401 behind us and airplanes approaching Pearson Airport above us, we were tired enough to fall asleep. Well, I was. I think if you asked Barbara about that night, she might tell a slightly different story. The point is, we were left alone and managed to spend the night. Then it was Sunday, July 30th. When you're stealth camping in Mississauga, you're up early. That's exactly how it was for Barbara and I that morning. We had made the best out of the few options we had, but we had no desire to stick around and be discovered by a grumpy Walmart manager or the cops. We arrived back at the Tim Hortons around 6:20, just in time for breakfast. To make sure we were not without a room that day, we had already booked 2 nights at the Toronto Plaza Hotel the night before. This wasn't what we had planned because Barbara's suitcase was still at the Super 8 Hotel in Mississauga. Unfortunately, that place was now temporarily shut down due to a fire. We'd have just enough time to retrieve the suitcase via public transportation the following Monday. For now, all we had to worry about was getting to the Toronto Plaza Hotel by bicycle. The trip was about 35 kilometers long and started off quite nice because no one was on the roads this early on a Sunday morning. By the time it got busy, we had reached Eglinton Avenue, which had a nice recreational trail alongside of it. The weather was nice, but with intense sunshine and a strong headwind. It affected us surprisingly little. We had some help finding our way when we met Peter, a cyclist riding a recumbent bike who was on his way out of town for a week-long tour. After we left the Humber River Trail, we only had to ride through a few blocks of city and we were at our hotel. Since we were quite early, there were no rooms available yet, so we killed the time by eating at the Grab a Pizza restaurant and hanging out in the lobby. There was some kind of event going on, and we got to chat with a few of the participants. But mostly, we were really tired. I actually dozed off a few times in an armchair in the lobby. Finally, it was 3 o'clock and we got to check in. After hauling all our stuff up to the room, we both passed out on the bed for a few hours. The hotel must have been top-notch in its heyday, but there was a reason why the rooms were cheap. Signs of wear and tear were everywhere. Peeling wallpaper was most noticeable, and the carpet had stains everywhere. None of this bothered us much, as the room was actually fairly clean overall. The main thing for Barbara was that there was a free shuttle to the airport. Later that evening, my daughter and her family came by to visit us. We passed Barbara's bike on to Jessica, who was going to use it for commuting. The next day was going to be a Monday. We had plans to take it easy, but had to take a trip to the other hotel in Mississauga, which seemed almost impossible to reach using public transportation. We got there via a combination of Uber and buses. Barbara's return flight to Edmonton was scheduled for really early Tuesday morning. She would have to get up super early while I could sleep a while longer. Barbara had ridden about 500 kilometers with me, which was a new milestone for her. For me, another phase of the Trans-Canada tour was completed. I was going to continue the journey toward the east coast, probably via the lakeshore at first, but I had no idea how I would make it out of the greater Toronto region once the trails ended. Well, in the next episode I'll tell you how the journey went on. I'd appreciate if you hit the like button for this video. Your support means a lot, and it always motivates me to make more and better videos. You might like some of the other ones in this playlist. Canada is a huge country. Just pick a region and check it out through my eyes.